Hello, welcome to a video with me, Winner Android, with another video of Weekly Answer, in which this week basically everything else I was watching for this anime season has ended, with an exception to one, but that was mostly just because it got delayed last week, which was my happy marriage. But yeah, starting off with the things for this week. Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf, in which honestly was kind of just a nice, simple, wholesome anime, to be honest, with a little bit of romance kind of in there, of course. And honestly, don't exactly have a lot of say for it. It's just a nice, wholesome, nice to watch anime. That's it, to be honest. Half the time they basically spend in Japan with Kazuhiro showing Mary around and stuff, and the other half they spend over in the other world adventuring and stuff like that while he sleeps. So, yeah, that's all that really is. It's good, but not anything exactly special, I guess. But, yeah. Moving on to the next thing, which is I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Or the short name, I guess, Girumasu. So, yeah. Overall, it was a nice anime, I guess. But honestly, it kind of had a pretty simple story, I think. Which is that Alina, of course, wants to clock out on time because she doesn't want to work overtime, and that's all she really cares about, to be honest. And of course, everything's basically working against her when it comes to that, considering it's like in the background there's some kind of large conspiracy or whatever going on, trying to revive some dark god or whatever. But, yeah. And of course, gets her dragged into it because she has to work overtime and everything, and she wants to put it into the crap so she doesn't have to work even more overtime as it is. But yeah, all that when it comes to the story side of things, I just feel like it's just very kind of simple, not exactly special. But I guess when it comes to romance bits, there is a little bit in that bits there, though it's completely one-sided with comes to Jade. Cause yeah, Alina doesn't really show that much of an interest in him at all, to be honest. But Jade is basically a simp, to be honest. First time I've actually called an anime character that. But that is basically what he is, considering he'll basically do anything to improve her opinion of him. So, yeah. I guess that's all I have for that anime to say there. So next up, Solo Leveling Season 2, in which, yeah, it's just more pure power fantasy. To be honest, I don't exactly have a lot to say there, because still, I don't exactly think it has much in the way of a story. Sure, it's kind of focusing on getting a bit more of a story at this point, but it's still really not much at all, to be honest. It's just power fantasy and nothing else. Especially at this point where Jinwoo has already cured his mother, which is his main motivation to even become a hunter in the first place. It's like, where the fuck does the story at this point go? Yeah. I really don't understand that. Like, that should have been like a long-term goal, but it's already fucking done as second season. So, yeah. But at least I guess there was some other stuff that was kind of introduced slightly, like his dad or something like that we did get to see, but we still don't know absolutely nothing about him. But, yeah. End of the day, this is just a pure power fantasy and nothing more, in my opinion. So, yeah. Next thing, which is Shangri-La Frontier Season 2, in which, honestly, I don't think a lot happened this season despite it being another two-core season, considering this season kinda mostly covered everything from what I can tell between the Weathermon fight and the Katanit fights, considering that's clearly going to be starting in the next season. So everything in this season is basically just everything between that, though there was another fight with Lycagon. in which they managed to defeat her shadow while being completely unprepared for the fight. So I guess that's kind of the main thing that actually happened this season was that fight. But other than that, this season was basically just introducing more characters and getting things set up for the next two arcs of the GGC tournament and the fight against Katanid as well. So yeah, that stuff of course should be starting right at the beginning of the next season, considering where things ended right there at the beginning of the GCC tournament. So yeah, third season of course already announced and everything, so don't have to wait too long for the third season, I guess, possibly, which is nice, I guess. But moving on to the next thing, which is 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You Season 2. And honestly, this is still a great parody of rom-coms, to be honest. And yeah, this season added another 5 girlfriends, which now brings us up to 11 in total. And honestly, yeah, comedy and everything, and this is still great. And the season, of course, did end up ending with that scene, in which took me like 20 minutes to read all those fucking subtitles. And yes, I did actually go through and read every single bit of it. God, that took forever. But apparently that scene will actually be playing at normal speed in the Blu-ray release. So I guess maybe 30-40 minutes episode for the final in the Blu-ray release, or something like that. Honestly not sure exactly how long that scene actually is at normal speed. But overall, this season I think was still just as good as the first, and to be honest, my opinion, it's just a perfect rom-com parody, to be honest. And the only thing that I really have to complain about for this anime is just the fact that the third season hasn't actually been announced yet. I want a third season, but it hasn't been announced. That's the only thing I gotta complain about currently. But moving on to the final anime for this week, which is a daily life as a middle-aged online shopper in another world. In which is another generic isekai anime, I guess. Considering Keiichi is basically able to buy things from his world and sell it in this one as well, which makes it where he's able to make money super easily. He gets a large ass harem that just continues to grow more and more, literally the exact same fucking copy paste crap you get in so many of these isekai anime. So yeah, story wise I guess he wants to live a slow life, but he literally gets involved in literally everything. To the point where in the last episode, he ends up becoming a fucking baron. It's like, so much for that slow life that you still think you're having, apparently. Yeah, honestly, I kind of think Keiichi is kind of just stupid, especially with some of the things that he fucking does. But yeah, it's not that good at all, especially when it comes to animation and stuff, that's for sure. So yeah, that's all the anime done there. So next season's anime, in which yeah, this is everything that I'm watching for next season, at least what's currently on my list, considering yeah, I was planning on taking the 30 anime that I normally have every single season, trying to drop that down to maybe somewhere 15 or something, at the very least under 20, but yeah, that clearly hasn't happened. Too many romance and kind of slice of life things, I feel like, especially towards the bottom of that list there. That kind of just seemed promising, to be honest. But it's quite annoying. Really did want to knock down how much anime I'm watching, but that didn't happen, sadly. But there are a few anime that I think I could possibly drop, possibly. Not exactly sure, just depends on how generic they are. So, yeah. That's that done. So, yeah. The only thing I actually really have to mention for this week, I guess, is War Thunder. Considering, yeah, Last time I played War Thunder was literally a year ago for last year's April Fool's event. And of course I have gotten back on it for this April Fool's event this year as well, which is apparently just the Great War, I guess. Honestly, don't think it's that good of an event, to be honest. Especially when it comes to the balancing between the Entente and Germany. Considering, yeah. For one, camouflage. The Entente tanks basically have camouflage for if they're in a forest. Meanwhile, the German tanks, yeah, they have nice dark camouflage that actually blends in with the scorched fucking backgrounds that you have on this battlefield. So yeah, that's a point in Germany's favor, but I guess to balance things out, the German Zeppelin is absolutely shit. Considering I have literally seen an enemy fighter plane just ram into it to kill the Zeppelin easily, and they didn't even take any damage themselves in the process of doing that. So yeah, Zeppelin, super easy to fucking kill. So I guess that's kind of balances, but it doesn't at all. Because most of the fighting is on the ground, not the air. So, yeah. I have played a few battles so far in it, and I've only actually had victories on one side. And I think it's pretty obvious which side that is, considering everything I have said so far. Yeah. I probably could have done a lot better when it comes to trying to balance things, I think. But, yeah. I guess there's infantry in it, at the very least when it comes to kind of just AI infantry moving forward to the bases that you capture and stuff. But honestly, it's not really that anything that's new, I guess, considering I feel like that's kind of thing that's actually been in the game for quite a while. It's just that no one ever notices because you don't see it. And it's never been in a ground battle specifically. So, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure that kind of stuff has kind of been in, like, maybe air battles, possibly, to some degree. But, meh, whatever. I don't think it's the first time I've seen it, at the very least, in the game. But, yeah, I guess that's everything for this week. I got to mention currency, I guess. So, yeah, is the end of this video. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.